Hi, I'm Shrey Talreja. This video is a part of my application as a tutor for COM 6080. And in this video, I will be going over how the internet works and how websites get delivered right to your browser. So let's dive into it. Here we have our browser, and when you go and type in a URL, for example, unsw.com, you basically send a GET request to something that's called a web server. The web server basically gets the response by searching through the files that are stored on it and returns what are known as HTML, CSS, and JavaScript files. There can be more files like asset files, images files, logos, audio files, and video files. Once the server finds out these files, it will basically combine them and send them back as a response with a response code. And when your browser receives that response, it basically will render all the information in a structured format right into your browser. So I actually have a working example as to what I have just explained. Here I have a mockup, a mini UNSW website that I made using HTML, CSS. And as you can see, there are a couple of pages, and these are all getting served by a web server that I made using Express.js, which is a Node.js based framework. If we look into the code and see, here's the file structure. So I've divided it into two parts, backend being where the server is coded and frontend being where the HTML and the CSS files and the logos are stored. So the server here is made using a framework, as I mentioned, Express, and all those requests that we get from the client gets logged here. So if I run it again, and you can see whenever I load the page again or request for the page again, it will deliver all these assets that are required by this page to be rendered. So now from the home page, if I want to go to the about page, the server on a specific route, the slash about route, which is defined here underneath the default path, will get another request. It processes that request by first of all logging it to us so that we can understand where the request is coming from, and then using the method send file, which is a part of the Express framework, it sends back the about HTML page, which is right here. And yeah, so we have a couple of these routes for a couple of different pages that we have in the website. But for example, if some user were to send a request that is not available on the server, the route for which is not available on the server, it will give a fallback request. For example, a profile page. So there doesn't exist any profile pages, so it will simply return a 404 error, which means a page not found. But if it can find a page like about page, it will return a 200 status code. And yeah, that is basically it. You send requests to a web server, it looks for the files that you requested. If it finds it, it returns it with a status code 200. If it is not able to find it, it returns a status code of 404 with an error message. This is basically how a client server architecture works on the internet. This can be further extended to real life scenarios by the concept of APIs, where information, instead of getting served from static files like HTML files and images, you can get dynamic information from databases and data lakes. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you liked the video.